Hi and welcome back to Before Dieting. I'm your host, Bronwyn Fletcher. In today's bite-sized episode, I'll be taking apart the whole dieting roller coaster idea and showing you what's really going on behind the scenes. We'll look under the hood at the reasons why diets so often lead back to where you started. Any woman with any dieting experience is familiar with the image of the roller coaster. The weight goes up, it comes down, and at some stage it goes up again, and sometimes even higher than the starting weight. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's really causing it? What are the forces at work beneath that back and forth? That's what I want to dig into in today's episode. We understand the roller coaster idea, but I think there's another model that offers a more granular view. I call it the diet, hope and abandonment cycle. Now, I'll admit the name isn't simple like a marketing slogan, but I do think it's a better description, or a more accurate map, if you like, of what happens on that roller coaster ride. So the key idea in this episode is that when you quit a diet, there's much more involved than running out of willpower. Let's step through the stages. The diet, hope and abandonment cycle primarily tracks emotion and actions, where hope gets us started with dieting and abandoning a diet results in disappointment, forgetting, and that leads to the cycle starting all over again. So the cycle starts with hope. Every diet starts with optimism. I've never yet spoken with a woman who started a diet thinking that it was going to fail. Failure just isn't on the radar. So the optimism is genuine, it's motivating, and it helps us get started. And the hope I'm talking about here doesn't just come out of thin air. If you think about it, you're constantly surrounded by diet marketing with a stream of weight loss options popping up all the time. And then there's the influencers, the celebrities, the researchers, doctors, dieticians, all of them offering their answer to your problem. So there's a huge appeal because it feels like you don't have to figure it all out for yourself. You just need to follow the rules to get the results. And of course, they always show you the success stories, the before and after shots to prove the eating plan works. And what that means is that all of these things come together and fuel hope. And of course, hope doesn't just stand by itself. It's directed at a result, something that you want. And that could be something specific like reducing a health risk or fitting into a smaller size of clothing. Or it might even be something less tangible like feeling better about yourself. But after a short while, after you've begun the diet, when it feels like it's work, that bright spark of hope that was connected to the goal starts to dim. And in fact, the goal itself seems no closer than when you started. If we were able to look at what's going on beneath the surface, you'd see a clash between two sets of rules. On one side, you have the diet rules, simple, straightforward, written out, and easy to follow. And on the other is your personal eating system, one that's been built up over years. It's full of complex, interconnected rules, most of them running on autopilot. So when these two systems go head-to-head, it's not the diet that wins. Your older personal system always takes over. And that's how diets get abandoned. But there's another layer to this that's even deeper, the biological systems wired for survival. These systems don't care about your weight goals or favourite genes. When food gets restricted, your body sees this as starvation and sounds the alarm bells. It then slows your metabolism, and all of a sudden, these strong primal urges also have you playing catch-up, consuming all of those calories that were lost. This fight isn't a fair one. It's your biology matched up against a list of diet rules. With this catch-up eating, the weight not only comes back, but it often goes past the point where you started. Think of it like pulling a pendulum in one direction, only to have it swing even further back in the other direction. And the emotional fallout from abandoning a diet can hit hard. The mind sometimes steps in to shield from the disappointment by blotting out the details. But it's this phase of forgetting that leads right back into the same dieting cycle. Without remembering what happened last time, we repeat the process and land in the same spot all over again, ready for another ride on that dieting roller coaster. I know this is difficult to hear, especially when it feels like all the solutions that promised to fix the problem aren't working. It's hard facing the realities that our bodies have survival systems we can't outsmart, or the shortcuts and the body hacks can even make the weight worse. The way to get off that roller coaster is to understand how your body systems work. It's not about feeling despondent, it's about finding solutions that actually will match the problem. When you know how things actually work with bodies and diets, you get the chance to make new choices, even if it means taking a different route than before. So what are the takeaways I want you to get from this episode? Well, the first thing is abandoning a diet isn't a personal failure. It's not self-sabotage or lack of willpower. In fact, willpower simply cannot override basic human biology. The second thing is it's not just you. It's not personal. The diet, hope and abandonment cycle maps what happens to everyone if they try to fight against these deeply embedded survival systems. And finally, once you can recognise this is biology and not a personal failing, then you've taken your first step on a different path. If you'd like a copy of the Diet, Hope and Abandonment Cycle, there's one to download from the resources page at the Waiting for Happiness website. And if now is the time for you to undertake a deep investigation of your own eating system, you can join the Waiting for Happiness project while you're there. Thanks for listening. I'll talk with you next week.